For those of us that do or have done martial arts, we know how important our training is. When you're competing against people in class, at competitions, or sparring, you need to make sure that you are in the best physical and mental condition possible. Of course, you got to make sure you train hard in class. That is the bare minimum that you need to do. But what can you do outside of class to give you that edge over the others? Let's jump right into it. Many people think that lifting weights will make you slow and bulky. This is obviously a disadvantage when you're a martial artist, as you want to be more agile, fast and explosive. Well, one thing that seems to be overlooked is using weights and gym equipment in ways that can allow you to train in such ways. I think this is because all over social media and in commercial gyms, the majority of people are training in a bodybuilding style. This makes sense as these people are probably training mainly for aesthetics. But dig a little deeper and you will see people that are training with the gym equipment in seemingly non-conventional ways. Some examples of this are using relatively light weights and doing explosive jump squats, wearing a weighted vest and doing jumping push-ups, doing short sprints on a treadmill or other cardio machines. Using lighter weights and moving more explosively is a phenomenal way to train to be more explosive, quicker and more agile. This does not mean that heavy weights should be avoided at all costs. Doing some fairly heavy strength training with major compound exercises, such as deadlifts, squats, military presses, bench presses and rows can be great in increasing your overall strength and power. But it should not be the be-all and end-all of your training. Go give it a go. This one may be one that you probably already do, and that is running. Everyone understands that running is good for you. Improves your cardiovascular system, which leads to increased performance, stamina, and recovery. There are loads more benefits too. Check out the Bioneers video on why running just once a week is incredibly beneficial. Link in the description. But what I want is one specific but lesser known form of running. When most people run, they just kinda run. Just like anything else, you need a purpose that you want to achieve and a plan to get there. With running, one of the things I highly recommend doing, just once a week, is something called Zone 2 training. First things first, you need to find your Zone 2 heart rate. Just Google Zone 2 heart rate calculator. You will need your resting heart rate, and some other heart rate numbers depending on the calculator. Having a fitness watch, I use an Apple Watch, is incredibly useful to find this information as it simply tells you. But if you don't, you can just check your pulse and simply count. And don't worry about being 100% accurate. After you have this information, you do a cardio activity, preferably running or a spin bike, and aim to hold this heart rate for anywhere from 40 to 90 minutes. Build up over time. In case you've never done this before, it is quite a low effort, more on the easier side type of workout. This type of training allows your body to train its slow twitch fibers endurance, which helps with the speed and rate at which you can recover, as it can reduce the amount and increase the rate at which lactic acid is removed. Basically, it improves your recovery and endurance capabilities. You most likely do this already in your training sessions, even if you don't realize it. HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training, involve doing exercises or movements at high intensities for short bursts of time, resting the same or less amount of time, and then repeating. But there is a variation, mainly done in CrossFit, that I think is worth trying out. MM stands for every minute on the minute. You do an exercise and aim to complete it within the minute. However many seconds you have left after completing it are your rests, and then you repeat it for a certain number of minutes. Simply incorporating a 10-minute with either your martial art movements or bodyweight movements can be incredibly tough but rewarding. The only limit is your imagination when it comes to this type of workout. Go crazy. I saved the least sexy idea until last. Stretching, mobility and recovery. Wait, don't click off just yet. I'll make it quick and helpful. You already stretch in class. Great, congratulations. But do you actively work on your mobility? Do you practice sitting at the bottom of the squat? Do you rest in a high kick position? Do you foam roll and massage gun your muscles? Do you do any joint mobilization? Do you warm up and cool down correctly, or just rush it? If you answered no to even just one of these, suck it up and start implementing it. Why, you ask? Reduce the chance of injuries, increase range of motion, and become more nimble and mobile through all planes of movement. Feel stronger and more energized. You're welcome. Stay tuned for more. Work hard and keep fitness simple.